Well, hey family, happy Monday. This is Darlene. So earlier I stopped in Hobby Lobby, and the reason why I stopped in Hobby Lobby is because I needed some closures. So these were, I want to say they were 50% off. Most of the jewelry, beads and the findings are 50% off right now at Hobby Lobby. I didn't go in specifically for beads or anything, but as I was looking through the beads, I did find some cuties. And I think what is happening is I'm pretty much getting spoiled with the hand painted beads. So every time I look at beads in any one of the stores, I'm not turned on by them. I'm just not really seeing anything I absolutely positively got to have, and you know how we do when we go in. But these are some pretty ones. So these were 249, 50% off, and these are what? These are acrylic, coated acrylic, and I like them because they're gold in color. So these I could mix with something, probably some bracelets or something. And then I thought these were really pretty, 4.99, half off, $2.50. And these are also acrylic, but I like how they are. They're very different type of beads, and I can mix these with something, probably some painted beads. And I thought these were just absolutely amazingly gorgeous. And I like a lot of color anyway. I've always liked a lot of color. And these were 7.99 half off, so these were like $4. And I was like, okay, do I want to get two more? Do I want to just get this one? And these are silicones. So I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and get one, and then see what I can mix like with the beads, maybe for necklaces or something. I'll see what I'm gonna do with them. Not really sure yet, but I did get this was the last pack that they had of the closures, so I got those. I also found some butterflies. So with these butterflies, 4.99. I think this was half off. It says 22 pieces. So I am going to be using these for charms. And what I'm going to do with these is I generally like these type of charms and stuff. I'll cover them with clear fingernail polish. So that puts an extra coat of covering and protection on them. And then I found these beads. These are 32 millimeter, right? For $1.49. And they had a couple more packs, but I was like, okay, well, let me get one pack to see what I want to do with them, how I want them to look. And then once I paint the beads, I'll see what I want to create out of these beads. So that's why I only got one pack, $1.49. And I think that sale is going to last until July 17th. I think that's what I saw. But anyway, these right here. And then also I found these little charms, some cutie pies, $8.49, but they were 50% off. So I thought these were really cute. I can use these. And you know how I make the clusters at the bottom of charms? I was thinking I can use some of these to be clusters on the bottom of pendants, or maybe even on a bracelet. So I do like these, and I am going to cover these with some fingernail polish. I always do that, no matter if they're electroplated or just these metal ones, just to add another coat of security. So I got those, and then I also found these little beads. These were $2.99, half off, make them $1 or $2.50. I think I bought these beads before, color bead mix, but I really like these. So I got these. I found some little stuff up in there, and I also had got some. Where did I put the wire at? And I also got one of their on a wire 20 gauge wire. So I got this one. I initially got it because I was going to try it out with a necklace, but I was like, okay, well, nah, after having a conversation with somebody and also some thoughts, I was like, well, the ending, how I close the end of the necklaces, I want the end of the necklaces, or anything I make, to be secure. But I want the necklaces on the end to be secure. And I was thinking, okay, with 20 millimeter is probably more than likely not going to do it. So I did get the 20 millimeter, and I'll go ahead and use this for like maybe some necklaces and stuff like that. And to address a comment, Miss Watson put a comment, and she said, anger rant. Wow, an anger rant regarding that previous video. Well, that wasn't an anger rant. That was just me telling people, see, nobody is in my inbox. So you guys don't see the type of emails and things that I get. And people can be very disrespectful. I never say that on videos, and I never be bringing that up and saying those things. But people are really disrespectful, and people are really rude when they send emails. And every once in a while, you have to let people know, well, you don't get permission to be disrespectful. You don't get permission to be rude. And if it sounds like I'm being angry, No, I'm not being angry. It's probably frustration and me saying to people, you do not get to be disrespectful in my inbox. And then you said, well, what would Jesus do? Well, according to Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into a temple and tore a whole temple up by turning over tables. Now that was angry. That was angry because the robbers were turning that the robbers were tainting the temple. And he told them, you will not make my father's house a house of thieves. So that was anger, turning over tables. I'm not turning over tables. I'm not doing anything like that. And if it sounds like I'm being angry, that's not being angry. That's me saying to people that you do not get to be disrespectful in my inbox. You do not get to be disrespectful in my on my Facebook inbox. You do not get to be able to do those things. And every once in a while, you do need to speak up to people. And anybody that is not speaking up to people, more than likely, getting walked all over or getting talked all over and all those different things. So my whole everything about my YouTube channel and anything that I do, my whole life is positive. Everything about what I do is positive. And for me to say to you that I'm 100% to you or anybody that I am 100% Darlene, a positive, calm, cool individual every single day of my life, that would be a lie. And it would be ingenuous. That would be a lie and it wouldn't be authentic. Not one of us walking through this world on a daily basis do not get frustrated or upset with people that think that they can be disrespectful in any way that they're trying to be or do it. That's the whole thing with that previous video. So if people are thinking, and I'm not apologizing for that previous video. I'm never going to come back and apologize for anything that I know that I'm doing right. You do not get to be disrespectful in my inbox. You do not get to be disrespectful. That's all there is, and there ain't no more. And for me, for people that want to be on the channel, that's good stuff. And if you don't want to be on the channel, that too is good stuff. If you want to buy the beads, that's good stuff. If you don't want to buy the beads, don't buy the beads. That's good stuff. Then that way I don't have to be bothered with you. That way I don't have to be bothered with you. But to say, anger and all this and, what would Jesus do? Well, you know what? Jesus tore up some tables. He turned over some tables. He upset some stuff. And I'm not angry at all. Not at all. Disappointed in people because of how people think that they can be disrespectful. Maybe that, yes. But I'm not angry at anybody. But I'm always put people in their place in real life, online, or any other way that I have to do it. So, and if people think that I was being angry, it is what it is. I'm not going to apologize for putting people in their place. I'm not going to do it, never will do it. And that's all there is. There ain't no more. And this was what I got from Hobby Lobby. And guess what? We'll talk.